Which is good for you, I got talk stuff.
Going to answer my phone.
Harry! Just you brought us.
Jack is rowdy. You're rowdy.
Oh, yeah.
You're like me.
Just sit back and watch everybody else.
There's coffee time.
Winter treat. Next week. Agree. Me too.
70-degree weather.
My son's coming home from San Francisco tomorrow.
Is he coming to try?
My son
Hey, join the gym.
Yeah.
It's good for me.
You need to.
Yeah, well, so I'm going.
I joined the gym.
Yeah, so why? Many years ago, I
No,
quit.
I do now.
Oh, yeah.
I go over to Terry Township this summer.
Oh,
You go over there. You go. You don't go? Oh, okay. What a place. How about it? Free. There's neighbors.
oh, yeah.
They got 3 pools, 2 indoor, 1 in. They got a full basketball court.
Wow. Who's what do you, up there, you need spot, the central pen?
Yeah, I used to go there.
Yeah,
That was nice.
That was nice, yeah.
Get ready for tomorrow. I'm already. Just can't get to Florida to get away from these cold. Like,
Oh, I really is, we'll get a lot of rain down there.
and cold.
And cold. Dodge and his family were down in Tennessee, and they got one of the cabins up the mountain. And they were snowed in for 2 days. It was 18 inches. Yeah, was without food. Didn't have enough food. They finally got out.
Four dogs.
Yeah, 4
A
dogs.
big family together.
Well, if you had a dog,
Yeah, you had food there, yeah. Tastes like chicken, anyway.
I've seen so many. One piece served in one piece, and it's not 3 separate pieces. 3 came to 3 cubes and 1 separate. And you can do whatever you want. On one person's team, they made so they had it separated, you know, with so much better. When it gets to 3 guys, 3 wives, 102 camels, sheep.
Remember that day you had a little owl and everything?
Yeah.
That was
Can you hear me okay? I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, we got you.
Okay. Welcome, and thanks for coming out this cold night. I'd like to thank the Middletown Area Historical Society. Some of their volunteers came tonight to set up a table to share some pictures and some advertising items with you, so please stop by their table. I want to thank the Lower Swatara Township Volunteer Fire Department for letting us use this room. And I want to thank Bill Leonard and Ruth Shireman for remaining our advisors for another year. I think Bill's going to come a little later. Tonight's presentation will be the 18th that we've presented in the 5 years that we've been doing these presentations. Soon, the actual presentations that I have recorded and are on the website presently are going to be removed. I'm going to try to get them over to the PA Power Library, so I'll put a link there, but they take up so much storage, it costs so much for our website. So if you want to see any past presentations, you should do it soon. We can always use folks who want to share their family or property history and present on a historic topic. We have them all filled this year except for July, so if anybody wants to do a presentation, please see me, we'd love to have you. And please, because you don't want to hear me speak, trust me on that. March's presentation in two months, we're going to have the Civil War demonstration, Dance Foundation here to demonstrate Civil War dance. And they come dressed up, and it's the most genteel and fun evening you can imagine. I went to Hummelstown when they had them there. It's still going to be free. You don't have to dress up. You don't have to know how to dance. They let me do it. So I am dressing up. So even if you want to come just to see that, come in March to see the Civil War dancers. I co-founded this group to learn more and to share about the history of Lower Swatara. And maybe some of you've noticed our downtown area. And it saddens me when I see it. There's not a lot of businesses there anymore, and it looks pretty dead sometimes. I don't have the answers, and I wanted to share a bit of history of the people and businesses that were there, that created this town and sustained it for many years. So tonight, I'm pleased to introduce Jack Still, who was born in Middletown. He graduated from Middletown High School on Water Street in 1962. He enlisted in the Army after graduation, and he served there through September 1965 when he returned to Middletown. He says he's lived in Middletown most of his life. He attended every major event and recorded them, pictures, movies, and both. And he is a wealth of information, folks. So if you ever need any information about Middletown, Jack Still is really a wonderful person to contact and get to know. So don't be afraid to come up and say hey to him after his presentation. Also here tonight is Harvey Jacobs. He lived in Middletown in early years. Harvey, do you just want to wave so people know who you are? He's in the back with the hat. And he now lives in Harrisburg. He had the Middletown movie that we're going to show tonight done and converted it from 16mm film to a DVD so we could all see it. So tonight what we're going to do is we're going to show you some slides of the town and some of the businesses, and then we're going to show you a movie. And the movie I like to call the hustle and bustle of Middletown's past, because it just seems like everybody's running every direction, the businesses are thriving, the people are downtown, and at the end Jack will show you the movie of the Middletown picnic and the thousands of people that went to that. So would you please help me welcome Jack Still. I just applied for a grant last week to get new microphones.
through the PowerPoint. If somebody's got questions, can you just pause it then? Okay, so if anybody sees anything, have a question, just say stop and pause the show. Welcome and good evening. I am Jack Still, and with me is Harvey Jacobs in the back. He provided the movie show after the slideshow. The movie presentation is not very long, so to fill in, we're going to show the PowerPoint. And as I just said, if there's any questions during the PowerPoint or the movie, just say stop and we'll pause it and we'll talk about whatever the questions are. And I'd like to recognize the Middletown Area Historical Society. They're here with displays over here. So we'll begin with the PowerPoint. Most of these photos are from the Dave Kagan and
Look at all his nose.
You see?
yeah. That's how it works for you.
I'm thinking
Towards the stage. From the thing that's sticking out, can you read it like that? On this? Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna, well, we'll try it. You wanna try it?
Push it down. Push it down.
Get it closer.
Does it lean over? Pull down.
Most.
Just suck the microphone.
Point the light towards the stage.
Yeah, that's great.
The old guys need to like to read. Most of these photos are from Dave Kagan and Ed Summer of Middletown Borough. Thanks to the Middletown Public Library, Press and Journal, Middletown Area Historical Society, and other individuals that we have these photos to share with you. This is Derek's Quality Baker, corner of Lawrence and Wilson Street. Began operation in the early 1900s, still in business 1925. Cider's grocery store started in 1906, 300 block of North Union Street in Water. He lived next door to his business at 303 North Union.
Here's my driveway. That's my driveway.
This is Oscar Edward Long's grocery store located at 121 North Catherine. Operated around 1900, he died in 51. The building was demolished in 1987. Mr. Long lived at 113 North Union Street, and this is right next to Conrad's house, where it used to be. Robert Raymond at his hardware store at 7 South Union Street. This is probably where Ryder's hardware store was. The Cross building was the A&P store when I was a kid. Then Carl Arnold moved in there, and many things thereafter. That road, there was Newberry and Company, W.T. Grants. This is South Union Street, across from the tattered flag. And at South Union, there's the vintage marketplace open in the area, November 23. first martial arts, now where the amputees work. This is 1 South Union Street, just where the tattered flags are up. This is going south on Union Street before you go under the railroad tracks. Kind of in the middle of the picture, you can see the running railroad station. And Amity Finance Company used to be in the corner. Mini store, luncheonette on South Union Street, looking from the railroad bridge. Clark's Jewelry Store, the interior was next to Brooks, with 25 South Union Street. It was started in 1885 by Elisa Clark. The store was really rebuilt after the fire of 1910 and run by his son, Beanie D. Clark, till 1934. And throughout most of the 20th century, he died in 1992, and the building was torn down in 2014 for parking. Look at some of the furniture inside. It was built by the Middletown Furniture Company that closed, which is where Carnes' kitchen is on the end of West Emo Street.
Is that where the blue room is now? Is that where the blue room is now?
Well, it looks like you can see the railroad
There.
tracks in the background.
Yeah, it is.
So this is on South Union Street. It is entrance quick lunch restaurant at the end of South Union. I'm not sure about that. It looks like a railroad track, so yeah, I don't think it would be it. Well, anyhow.
That's where the blue room is.
And this is the Middletown Ice and Cold, 15 South Ray Street. Business started in the 1920s. This is a 1930s photo. And the Ice and Cold building is still there on South Ray Street. Inside the Middletown Ice and Cold Company, business began in 1920, and they're still located at 15 South Ray Street. Shale Yard opened in the early 1900s. In 1939, became a Glenbarry shale brick plant and closed in 1960. This is as you cross over the bridge to the Wilkes-Barre Oil. This is a car works. They make train cars, and this is the area across from the borough parking lot. Probably all the way up to the bridge across over to Main Street. This is the rear of S. Crider Shoe Factory on Wood Street. Began in 1908. In 1912, there were about 300 workers there. Closed in 1925.
Be right there today.
Michael H. Bachman worked for the Crider Shoe Company until it closed and went into business for himself in 1925. The Bachman Shoe Company was located in Wilson and Wood Streets. In 1928, it had over 70 employees. In 1947, the company was sold and it began to decline after Hurricane Agnes. This is the Pembroke Candy Company at the far end of West Emo Street, which is now the Carnes Kitchen. There was a fire in that building sometime in the 60s, I think. So the building's only a one-story building now. Middletown Oil Water Company on Main Street. This building's still here, and it's there where you would go to cross over to Upper. I think there's a well in there now, or out in that area, one of the wells for the town water. Seymour, Raymond, and Joseph Campbell Machine Works began in 1865. It was renamed Wincroft Stove Company in 1912. After many different owners, finally closed in 1966. The Middletown Area Historical Society has examples of 1868 Raymond and Campbell stoves, one labeled from the Wincroft Stove Company. The building on South Union Street is where Carnes is now. It was also Messick's Suburban Paint, Propane, Samuel Stamping, and Fox's Market. After the height of manufacturing, Wincroft produced the largest exportation of stoves in the U.S. and other countries. This is on South Union Supply. South Union Supply used to be on the Royalton side of South Union Street, and it's where the School of Dance is now. I think that's this building. But at some point in time, South Union Supply moved across the street. Roughwear Clothing Company on Wilson Street opened in 1928 in Middletown in the former A.S. Kreider shoe factory. They employed over 200 people. They made sheep, line, and leather coats and jackets for Admiral Richard Byrd's expedition, and later for the New York Police Force. And the factory manufactured 500,000 leather jackets for flying suits for the Air Force and Quartermaster Corps. They made coats for automakers, Gibbels, Lord and Taylor, and it closed in 1981. This is the feed mill. As you leave Middletown to go to Elizabethtown, and that building's still there also. Tom Hernock's in there. The building is still standing at the east end of town, and 760 East Main Street is now Urban Select. Henry Rollmurder's manufacturing company began in 1898 at 136 North Pine Street. It was a knitting and hosiery mill. A fire destroyed this building in 1970, but Rollmurder relocated the plant and continued operating into the 1930s. Porto South, I guess that's his first name. That's Roth Furniture Store in 1894 on South Union Street. Was in business in 1955. He also sold appliances, and it was next to the Majestic Theater. And in the movie, you also see that he sold caskets on the second floor. Looking east on Main Street, the square at Main and Union. Lafferty's drugstore is on the left, set back a bit. A private home now. Colonial Inn, then and now, Hops and Barley, is next building to the left. Looking west on Main Street, at Main and Union, Center Square, towards the intersection of Catherine and Spring Street. The Ewald's Orphanage in Lower Swatara Township, 1020 North Union Street. The original building was built in 1837 on North Union Street and Spring Streets. George Fry property, over 1,400 acres, for an orphanage to be built and maintained. Once his wife passed away, he wanted the orphanage to be called Emos. Perhaps from the reference in the Bible that we follow Jesus with little steps and be under the care of the Lutheran Church. Of course, that's where Fry Village was, but that name just changed also. The Genoda Orphanage, Genoda Orphanage Home, built 1914. It was the first Catholic Slovak orphanage built in the United States. They cared for over 4,000 children. They were still receiving donations in 1964, but closed in 1969. The building was demolished in the 1990s.
We're going to have a presentation on Genoda this year.
She and I are going to have a presentation on Genoda this year sometime. Olmsted Air Force Base began around 1917 and 1922. During World War II, it was the largest overall airplane center in the world. Originally from land was owned by James Young, then the Hubley Pickle Farm, named because he sold Kudo to the Lions Company. Closed in 1974. Now that part of the land is part of the Harrisburg National Airport and Penn State University. Located in Middletown, southern Middletown, and Lower Swatara Township. Owned by E. Fleck on Route 230. Mailing address was RD1 Middletown. Anybody know where this is at? Is that the suburbs as you go towards E-Town?
Across from the old Olmsted Air Force Base.
Across them?
Wasn't that across from the Olmsted Air Force Base? There was a parking lot in one alley.
On Rosedale, where the Rosedale Road comes out, Route 230.
Where the sunburst, red sunburst, yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I think this is what I said. I think this is on Route 230 heading towards E-Town. Shady Lane Hotel and Restaurant, 1368 East Harrisburg Pike, owned by Christian Yost Jr.
This is the last one. That's right.
Farmers Bank, now Brownstone Cafe in the corner of Eagles and South Union, built in the 1890s. Photo was taken in 1900s. Farmers Bank opened at this location in 1898. In 1962, it merged with the National Bank and Trust Company of Central Pennsylvania, which then became the National Central Bank in 1970. Inside the Farmers Bank, photo taken from 1904 includes some of the employees: Simon Cameron Young, John Rigger,